Okay, hey, uh, Jack's taking a nap, so I feel kind of weird talking right on top of his head, but he says it's cool, so we'll roll with it. Um, I think the story I want to talk about is when Karla left Richard um, and moved to Augusta. Some of you know, some of you don't, um, and some of you might have forgot. But that was a pretty cool story. See, a little backstory to that first, that will come up in another story, I'm sure. We met David Oliver. We were doing some volunteer work for a Christian radio station in Augusta. I can't remember I got the notebook with their bumper stickers still on the front of it somewhere around here. Uh, but we were doing some volunteer work, and in exchange for that, they did a few little things for us, and one of them was they had advertised that we were looking for another male singer for our group, I guess you call it. And that's how we met David. He showed up one day and hit the trash cans with his car. He stayed for dinner and we hung out, and we were looking at photo albums or something, and he saw a picture of Karla, and he said, "Who is that?" I said, "That's my sister Karla." And Janice was razzing around, there's this woman, Janice, typical Janice. So Ralph just laughed, and he says, "No, man, she's cool. She's all right. Yeah, she's solid." And David ended up staying all night. He just hit it off, and we just hung out. He just stayed all night, and he slept on the couch. And he says, "So when you see this Karla person, we're like, well, we don't really see her much because she lives in Anderson and we're in Augusta, so but we'll tell you when she comes to visit or we go see her or something." So it's like, yeah, do that. She's beautiful. I was like, oh shit. So next thing we know, we moved from that street to Wrights Avenue, and Carla's moving in because she left Richard. It got pretty bad. It got real bad. So she said, "Yeah, fuck this, I'm out." And she had to go somewhere where he didn't know where she was, because he would have killed her and Zane both, probably. Richard was crazy. So she moved in, and the night she got there, of course, in fashion, as we always do in this crazy ass bunch, we decide we're going to put all the sound system equipment together because, why not? We got Karla there now, let's do it. So we set up the PA and the mics and this, everything in the living room there. And we just had a great time. We were singing and carrying on, and David came over and immediately started hitting on Karla pretty hard. And she was like, "Dude, I'm here because I just left my fucking husband. What is the matter with you?" But he was kind of relentless. I mean, if you know David. But he was on that before he ever even met her. He was gone. But he persisted, and she kept saying no. And I was managing the subway over on Walton Way, and when it just had opened, and they had been open a week maybe. And so I went in and went to work, and the next thing you know, by the end of the week, the owner hands me the keys and says, "You're going to be our manager." I'm like, "What? I've been here a week." "Yeah, but you can do it." Okay, so there I was. So when Karla moved, she needed a job. So she came to work with me at Subway. And so our store was busy in the daytime, so we worked daytime, and we're always off on the weekends and at night. David starts coming to Subway, bringing flowers, ordering sandwiches. He was trying so hard. And Karla wasn't having it. She was like, April, what is wrong with that man? Does he not know? I mean, I just left my husband. I don't give two shits about seeing a man right now. I said, he knows, Karla, he knows. But the thing is, I don't think he cares. Not about that. So, she finally got it through to him after a little while. She didn't want nothing to do with him. Nope. Leave me alone. Go have fun, whatever. Well, she was all happy and good and stuff because he left her alone. And David came by Subway and asked us, he says, well, what y'all doing? And Karla said, I'm going in the back room. So she went to the back room, started doing some kind of prep, I guess. I don't know. Well, David ordered a sandwich. And when I laid my knife down on the counter, it caught between the cutting boards and cut my finger. So I said, Karla, I need you up here. Why? Because I cut my finger, and you need to do this sandwich for David. So I went back and started, doctoring and got my finger fixed up. Well, she's huffing and puffing, and she ain't happy about having to make him a damn sandwich. So he says, no, I'm just seeing if it's okay to come by and hang out some tonight. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool, whatever. So we're just finishing up dinner. And then, knock. And answers the door. It's David. And he said, he moved out of the way for somebody else to walk in. And he said, April, this is Dee Dee. Dee Dee's my date. Oh, hi, Dee Dee. Nice to meet you. Come on in, please. Would you like something to drink? We'll get you something to drink. Okay. I looked. I didn't see Karla nowhere. I said, okay, this is going to be interesting. So she just comes out of, I think, the kitchen side of the house. It was set up weird. And she came out of that side and saw David and saw that woman, that Dee Dee. And so when they went to sit down, Karla sat next to David. So Dee Dee could not sit next to David. And I'm looking at Jimmy. I was married to Jimmy at that time. And we knew, it was like, she's not going to be, we know what this is going, where this is going. We're giving each other that look like, do you see this? Are you watching this? And every chance she had, Karla would give a polite backhanded dig at Dee Dee, including the way she said Dee Dee. So we started playing cards, and she just wasn't going to let it rest. And then David and Dee Dee finally left, and Karla was like, well, he's got some kind of nerve. And I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean some kind of nerve? You didn't want nothing to do. You told him to get lost. And she's like, yeah, well, he didn't have to bring her over here. Who is this? What is a Dee Dee anyhow? What does he see in her? She's a stupid. She's, And I'm like, yeah, okay. No, you don't have a problem with this at all. You're perfectly fine with it. She says, as a matter of fact, I am, and I'm going to bed. I'm like, okay. She wasn't okay with it. We knew she wasn't. She knew she wasn't either. She was just lying, trying to save face for some dumb reason. But I guess David went out with Dee Dee a couple of times or something, and then it was very shortly, it's the holidays, and so we have a big Thanksgiving dinner, and David comes, and it's so big. We had so many people that we had to set up plywood and sawhorses in the backyard to sit everybody. And then the kids all got out there, and half of them dressed like Indians, and the other half dressed like pilgrims, and then the rest of us grown folks got up and played football together. Can you believe that shit? We did. That was a painful day. But David didn't speak to anybody. He made his plate, and he went into the house and ate at the table. And when he was finished, he left. And I said, Karla, you got to do something. You got to fix this. You tell him you don't want him, and then now you don't want him to have somebody else. You got to fix this. That poor man, you can't do that to him. And she says, well, it'll be all right. We're going to that New Year's Eve party down at Ray's house, and he's going with us. So some of us is going to ride with him. I'll ride with him so I can talk to him. I said, all right. She didn't ride with him. The boys all rode together, and the girls all rode together. So that night, everybody was having a party, and Ray was shit. It was New Year's Eve, and of course we were all drunk as fuck. It was ridiculous, and I think some of us might have had a joint or two, and we got smoked a little bit. And Ray and Jamie Cato, they hit it off pretty good, and the whole house knew about it at about 4 o'clock in the morning. But anyhow, we had a good time visiting, and Danny Gunner showed up, and Terry Gunner showed up, and I want to say Eddie Taylor showed up. It was me and Jimmy, Ralph, Janice, Karla, David, Zane was at Mama's. Oh God, Terry, Danny, Ray, Jamie. I don't know who. There was a shitload of people there, and I don't remember half of who they were. Anyway, that was a really long time ago. This was like Christmas of 88. No. Christmas of 80. Shit, I don't even remember. 88, I believe. Or 87, I don't remember. But we had a good time, and everybody got really wasted. And of course, when the midnight came around, everybody was hooping and hollering, and the whole neighborhood was having a party, and didn't do any good to have the heat on. So it was cold as hell in the house, and you're drunk, and it don't matter because it's hot. You don't care. And so midnight countdown comes, and Karla had been dancing with David. So Karla decides, I'll fix it. So she grabbed him by the tie at midnight and laid a big fat smacker on that man. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a happier man in my life. But she let him know, yep, okay, if we're going to do it, let's do it. It's us. Let's go. And they were together ever since, until she died. I don't know how many relationships David had before Karla. I can only tell you what Karla had before. She'd been with Richard since she was 16, Zane's daddy, Richard Sprouse. And then I think before Richard, the only real, with any activity, Lightning Hamby was her first. But I think everybody knew that. Everybody in that neighborhood knows everything. But Karla had, this is going to get into a different story, but that's okay too. Um, oh, here we go. Yeah. So, a lot of people wondered about Karla over a lot of things, because she was an open book, but she didn't share of herself too terribly much, not too terribly deeply with the general public, or not general public, but she would share with you if you were really tight. Karla never judged anybody. She loved unconditionally. She accepted you for who you were, and that wasn't always the best thing for her, because she got used by people a lot. She got ran over by people a lot, and trust me, she heard a lot about allowing that to happen from a lot of us, but she did hear it a lot from me and Norma and Mom, because she just would, that was who she was. Karla had loves in her life, just like we all have loves in our lives. Her first love was Lightning, and I'm not real sure if she really, I'm not sure about her relationship with Richard. I don't know if there was ever any love in it. I don't know. She didn't talk about that very much. Richard was very abusive, extremely abusive. She left because that morning he had told Zane, he said, "You be a good boy, and when I come home, I'll tie you up so you can watch me shoot your mom in the head before I shoot you, you little bastard. Ha! Bye." Yeah. So that's this man. Hard to believe that Karla would have put up with something like that, but Karla's just like everybody else that went through stuff like that. She had battered woman syndrome. She believed everything he told her. He had her brainwashed that she was worthless and that she was just a piece of shit, and Zane was too. And I never knew Karla to have a pair of glasses that had both legs until she left Richard. That's a fact. I've seen her with stitches and bruises and black eyes and broke glasses and just cuts all over her. He punched a glass light fixture that was hanging over her head, so it could rain down broke glass all over, and it cut her all up. So yeah, I'd say that was a bad time. But she had loves. There were people that she loved, that people wondered about, as far as, well, I won't say really romantic love, but as far as having a romanticized relationship with somebody. She had a couple of those. I'm not going to give the names of these people out of respect for Sissy. I wouldn't do that. and I just won't do it. But she had loves in her life, and one of them brought her to Kentucky. That was the one that I raised the most hell about, because she was treated horribly by she was treated horribly, and I couldn't have no part of that. I just, because when I was around it, and when I saw it, it was it's a wonder somebody ain't dead and I'm in jail, because it could have been. I was that, yeah. But when you threaten somebody I love, physical harm, and I'm standing there, I might have a heart attack, get my ass whooped, get shot, cut, whatever, but I'm not doing it. I just won't. Karla's Karla's loves were mostly for lives that she could have never had, for more than one reason. She told me something that it broke my heart when she told me this, and this was, oh God, when was this? I think it was right before she left Kentucky and went back home to Anderson. But she was showing me that our game, whatever it is, that place that she played on Second Life, and was showing me all kind of crazy stuff like, oh look, you can make them have sex, and you can do, and I'm like, okay, why? But she said, April, she said, I don't know what it is to have that kind of an intimacy with somebody. I said, what do you mean you don't know how to, come on. And she said, no. She says, I've never had sex in a way that I could see anybody's face. Say what? She'd never had regular missionary, whatever, face-to-face sex with anybody, she said. And I know people joke and they say, oh, well, that plain old missionary, boring, but you know what? There's a reason that's the first position anybody goes to, naturally, instinctively. And it's not because of the positioning of your organs, it's so that you can see each other. Because that's where the relationship lives, is in your mind, in your head, in your heart. And that's how you connect with each other when you're being intimate like that. And the fact that she had never experienced that hurt. I hurt for her. Karla only ever loved people. I never knew her to be anything other than that. And I was pretty close to her. I mean, there were people that she had problems with or issues with, but Karla, it doesn't matter. She's got issues with them if they're, she's going to be there anyway, because she just was. I'm not quite so forgiving. I can forgive, but I don't forget shit. and I takes care of them what takes care of me. So if you on that list, you know it, because you check on me, I check on you. We make sure we good. But I'm gonna get off of this thing. My throat's starting to hurt a little bit. It's been 25 minutes, and I know my husband wants to go to sleep. So let me know what you think. I got about 25 stories already in here that I'm gonna be going through. So if I don't talk to you before Christmas, I love you. I'm glad you're in my life. I'm thankful for you. And I hope that you get something from these dumbass videos. I don't know what you get other than a history lesson, but I hope you get something, because I get something. I'll see you later.